All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm here today with my friend and great guy. Love coming to see him. Love having him coming on our show. I'm always shocked that he comes on the show, but Pastor Rene Schlaepfer's in the house. Emailed me, I think a couple of days ago, and I went to the email, read it. Then there was an attachment which I couldn't read.
Oh, really?
I didn't have my glasses, and
Okay.
my glasses weren't. I'm like,
Right.
what the heck does this say? So I'm like, instead of trying to read what he said, I thought I'll give him a call and have him say what he wants to say
Okay.
on film in the studio, well, not our studio, in this great little coffee shop which is here at Twin Lakes Church.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing. If
Yeah.
people want to come to a great coffee shop, and if you're in the Santa Cruz area, we have one here right next to Cabrillo College, off the State Park and Park Avenue exits, right in between the two, next to Twin Lakes Church. It's actually a coffee shop we run called Loft.
First time at this coffee shop, and I'm coming. It's beautiful.
Thanks.
What a great spot.
This is your first time here?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I always
Awesome.
flying by here, but never come in. So now I'm coming in.
It's good, and it's good coffee.
And the
too.
great coffee's really good.
And if I see you, you see me here, I'll buy you a cup of coffee.
All right, perfect.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
you have no idea what I emailed you about.
I couldn't read it.
Well,
literally, these were not big enough. I'm like,
well, I was actually emailing you because I have a personal problem with you, Neil.
I know.
No, just kidding. That wasn't it.
I heard it was
Why do you-
million something because Rosie talked
yeah.
about it on the radio this morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Rosie
Oh,
blew
I'm so glad
Rosie
she
blew
did.
you up on the radio this morning.
Cool,
So I'm like,
cool, awesome. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. What we try to do every year here at the church for the last several years is take part in the Second Harvest Holiday Food Drive.
Right.
Second Harvest is a big food bank here in town, and it's literally a bank of food. Have you ever been down there?
No,
Oh,
it's in
you know,
Watsonville, huh?
It is. That would be a phenomenal
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah.
It's incredible. You know, it's one of the leading, if not the leading, food bank in America.
Yeah.
It was one of the first food banks in America. They have. Did you ever read when you were a kid those Uncle Scrooge comics? And he kept his money in a big vault.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a food vault.
Right.
It's literally a food bank. And most of it is fresh produce that they get from the growers here.
Yeah.
Strawberries, lettuce, carrots, all kinds of good stuff. And then they work with 150 agencies, they call them, mostly churches and schools, to distribute the food to people like us here at Twin Lakes Church.
Yeah.
And a lot of people need food these days with inflation just kind of going crazy.
Right.
So they
A
do
lot
this,
more than before. I heard the numbers have increased
So
by
much.
a third, right? Since
That's right.
maybe a
So
couple of years ago.
before COVID, we were giving out food to 55,000 people a month
Right.
who needed food, and now it's 75,000.
Did it
Because
shut down during COVID? The Second Harvest Food Bank?
No, it got bigger.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, the need exploded.
Yeah.
Of course, because people weren't working and
Yeah.
so on. So in the winter, they do a holiday food drive. It ends on January 15th, but we always try to juice it a little bit here at Twin Lakes, and we're the first people to contribute because we just do 5 weeks. We just revealed our total this past weekend, 2 days ago, as we record this. And so I'm very excited about this because our goal was to raise enough for 1 million meals. And
Is that what's needed in this area?
well,
Is
what's needed is 5 million meals. And,
Really?
And that's $1.25 million.
Yeah.
And so we thought, as a church, we're gonna bite off 20% of that, try to raise $250,000 in 5 weeks. And that's 1 million meals. And when we had our big reveal this last Sunday, the numbers rolled.
Yeah.
And it was.
I think it's your favorite time of year when you see all this.
It is.
It's like
it
being
really
in Vegas,
is.
right?
It is. It is. It's kind of like a slot
Slot
machine.
machine.
Right. But it was so far 1,008,000 meals, over $250,000, and so our goal was exceeded, which I'm so excited about because it's something people really need. And like as I was telling you before, this is something that I love. I love it when churches do this because churches can get so much bad press these days, some of it very legitimately so. However, churches are also doing great things like this. And I mean, listen, we're just one church of many here in Santa Cruz that are doing some great things for people, for the homeless, for those who are in need. And this is a big deal to raise 1 million meals worth in 5 weeks. And I love it because it goes back to sort of what churches should be doing. One of the very earliest descriptions of churches in the Bible is this: They sold their possessions from time to time and gave the proceeds to the poor. And that's literally what was happening. We had people in the church doing garage sales out of their homes and donating all the money. My own wife got so excited about this. We did our donation to the food drive, and then she's like, we can do more. Look at all this crap we got around here. We don't need this anymore. So she starts selling it.
Yeah.
And neighbors hear about it. They're bringing over their stuff. We just want to donate it to the food drive. So she's selling stuff on Craigslist and Nextdoor and whatever, a yard sale she had. And so far, she has raised, just through selling stuff, $1,000. That's 4,000 meals because of their buying power.
Wow, yeah.
And so I can't find my surfboard anymore, so I'm
She
worried
sold
about
it.
that. But it's pretty cool to see so many people just contributing.
Yeah.
This isn't money we got from some big grant. This is just little donations like that all adds
up. Right.
So
it adds up pretty quickly, huh?
Yeah, it adds up fast. So I'm very
when
excited.
When do you start the drive? When do you start putting?
Yeah.
What's the starting line? Is
basically
when? Back in
the beginning
October?
of November. End of October, beginning of November.
Yeah.
And then it lasts for 5 or 6 weeks, and then we're done.
And for somebody watching, maybe they need food. How do they get food?
That's right. So you can go to Second Harvest's website, which is thefoodbank.org,
Yeah.
and they have a list of all their distribution sites. But I'll just say, speaking for us, as a church, we give away free groceries every Wednesday afternoon.
Okay.
At 4:00. And it's a drive-through.
I've seen it drive. It's like a drive-by. Right.
People just drive right up to the church,
right.
And we just ask how much you need, and we have bags of non-perishable items, veggies, whatever Second Harvest makes available to us, and that the church has contributed. If people get these bags of food during the holidays, we pack them with more stuff. If we can get frozen turkey, that's put in there. All the Christmas or Thanksgiving stuff.
How do the homeless? You got the homeless situation in Santa Cruz, which is obviously getting worse and worse and worse,
Sure.
and they obviously don't have. Most of them don't have vehicles to get a hold of food.
Right.
How is somebody the homeless? How are they getting food? How can they get food?
So there are organizations that are closer. Now, I'll tell you what, we have plenty of homeless people here in Aptos.
Yeah.
They're more hidden. One of the most profound things that I did once was actually walk with somebody in the church who was recently homeless. And he's like, there's a lot of homeless people here in Aptos too. Where do they live? Under bridges, under freeway overpasses. And we actually went on a walk and found where the people live who are homeless right here in the forest and so on.
Right.
And so there's a lot of those people too. However, most of the food, however large the homeless population is, it's dwarfed by the population of people who are housed who need food, who are what they call food insecure. In other words, they don't have enough money to pay all their bills. Either they pay for groceries and they don't pay for utilities, they don't pay for gas or whatever, or they get free food so that they can pay for utilities and so on. So that food insecure population is actually a factor of 50 times greater than the homeless population.
Yeah.
Now, another cool thing that a bunch of churches are doing together for the homeless population that gets underreported is what's called the Interfaith Satellite Shelter Program, and Twin Lakes participates in this, and so does like the Congregational Church in Soquel, Resurrection Church here in Aptos, and many other congregations, the Presbyterian Church in Santa Cruz, and what that is churches they put together stable cohorts of homeless people, maybe 6 to 8, and these people become peers and friends that support one another, and they're able to stay overnight in churches, and other churches will have volunteers come and cook breakfast, dinner for them, and sit and eat with them in order to network with them.
Yeah.
And the genius of that is you can't be drunk, because that leads to fights and so on. If you come in, you have to be sober to stay there. But you get showers, you get shelter. The cohorts are small, so instantly people are off the streets. And also Twin Lakes sponsors, along with a couple of other churches in town, what we call Loads of Love, and that's a portable laundry and shower facility.
Yeah.
Pardon me. And so the people who are in these stable cohorts, as part of the Interfaith Satellite Shelter Program, they can do their laundry, so they have clean clothes, they have shelter, they can shower, they've got food. They have to be sober, or they get kicked out of the program. And that's because sobriety just leads to all kinds of good things for them. But what happens is, because they're in stable cohorts, they support one another and keep one another accountable. Like, hang in there, you can do it. And
it just spreads, right?
It's what they call a high threshold program, because it's not just giving food to people or money to people who are on the streets with no accountability. It's bringing people into relationship and stability where they not only are supporting one another, but also they're getting to know these people from churches that are making food for them, sitting and eating with them. Networking starts happening. Oh, you're looking for a job. I know somebody at Grocery Outlet or Home Depot who's looking for a job. And
it just spreads.
It just spreads. And incidentally, those two businesses, I should say, Home Depot and Grocery Outlet, I don't know if this is a policy of theirs or what, but I know that people in the Interfaith Satellite Shelter Program have gotten entry-level jobs at both of those businesses, and they have actually come up out of homelessness because and I'm sure there's other businesses who do this too, but I just happen to know that the local Home Depot and Grocery Outlet have really, and it's just a job. You're responsible, and if you don't do it, you get fired. But those two places have been willing to take a risk on people who may not have a permanent
That's very
address.
cool. Don't complain about Home Depot anymore.
What's that?
Don't complain about Home Depot anymore. They're doing good things.
They have given people a hand.
Yeah, it's good.
Not a handout, but a handout. So anyway, those are some of the things I wanted to talk about.
So everything's on tlc.org. Everything we just talked about is on tlc.org.
Well, I'll say this: if they want to donate to the food drive, it lasts until January 15th. Okay. We're done here as a church. But they can go to thefoodbank.org. Right at the top, there's a donate button. And if they want to find out about our Christmas Eve services here or Christmas morning services, we got a ton of them. 8 different services, including one in Spanish, and including one for people who are grieving, who aren't ready for all the fa-la-la stuff. Lots of different opportunities. December 23rd, 24th, and 25th. All the details are at tlc.org/Christmas. Thanks, Ben. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. They're going to have you back on studio pretty soon at the boardroom.
What's that?
Going to have you back in the studio at the boardroom pretty soon.
Awesome.
Thanks for that.
Was that okay, or what did I talk
you did good. You did good.